15. The Punishment of War Criminals, October 20, 1942. My German friends, a question is being debated at present in the general public of the Allied nations: the treatment of Germany after the war. And since internal German propaganda uses this debate to give rise to fear of peace, I want to speak to you about it today. It is the question of the so-called war criminals and their punishment. The governments in London and Washington have vigorously demanded that after the collapse of Germany, those who have worked as tools of an indescribable reign of terror should be called to account. It is certain that it will not be the case as it was in the last war, that the punishment of these criminals will be set aside. That brings to mind the previous war and the results that the war guilt paragraph in the Treaty of Versailles had on the Germans. It wounded German sentiment more than the disarmament. It is easy for National Socialist propaganda to use these memories for the production of hatred. What can the German opposition do to oppose this? There is only one path: to unite the will of the German people with the will of the Allied nations, to show the German people that the war criminals are, first and foremost, criminals against the German people. This is not difficult to show. Everyone among you knows an endless list of such crimes against the body and soul of Germans. We all know that these are not the lapses of individuals, but a system. The crimes of this war against the conquered are the continuation of the crimes against the Germans in the years before the war. The first land that was conquered in this war was Germany. Countless are the victims of this conquest. Hundreds of thousands who have died in concentration camps or whose existence is destroyed. The same kind of people who did this to the German people have now set upon the conquered lands. Not the fighting soldiers, but those who followed them. In this group are the war criminals against whom the outrage of the world is directed and against whom the outrage of the German nation, which was their first victim, should be directed much more. And because this is so, why should any German hesitate to demand the punishment of these criminals? The German people should no longer allow there to be a lot remaining for the Allied nations to do. You, the German opposition, should tell the Germans that foreign nations will not sit in judgment over the German people, but that the German people will sit in judgment over a powerful gang of criminals, and that the Germans will carry it out as far as possible, even before the others arrive. But perhaps many will ask, why punishment at all? Doesn't punishment of political criminals sound a lot like revenge? Punishment is the form in which the violated legal system asserts itself against the one who has broken the law. Everything that the National Socialist criminals have done is a violation of the most innate law, of the most common instinct for the good things that were accepted among primitive nations. The sanctity of contracts, the protection of foreigners, the defense of the family, all of that has been systematically negated. It is wrong to characterize that as a return to primitive stages of humanity. That would be an insult to primitive peoples. It is much more an attempt to create with every means of highest intelligence a world in which that which is human has disappeared. You all know the faces of the stormtroopers who march through the streets ossified and dehumanized. They have been robbed of their consciences. They are behaving like cogs in a horrifying machinery. Only National Socialism has dehumanized an entire generation. Step by step, it has cut it off from all natural human relationships, from goodness, justice, and truthfulness. And in place of human feelings, it has planted fanaticism, cold cruelty, and indifference. With these instruments, it has subjugated the German people and then forced it to subjugate other nations. Nothing pleases the National Socialists more than when the entire German nation is pronounced guilty abroad. But this pleasure is given to them by no one who is in a responsible position in the Allied nations. Only fools and fanatics attribute the crimes of National Socialism to the entire German nation. And now we understand why the war criminals must be punished. Not out of vengeance, but for the sake of the violated human dignity. It must be apparent from world history that no one can destroy the humanity within themselves and within others without exterminating themselves. It must be obvious that there are eternal laws that no one can violate without falling under their judgment. The punishment of the war criminals, in the first place by the German people and then by all remaining enslaved nations,
is the response of the divine world order attacked by the National Socialist. It is the response of human dignity, which is trampled into the dust. It is the response of that which is divine in the world to the attempt to distort it into that which is diabolical.